look at the society around us. You know, I'm not an alarmist. I'm not paranoid. I wouldn't even have considered myself a prepper up until a couple years ago. Hey everybody, so today we're going to talk about the 3 guns you need to own now. And why do I say now? Well, look at the society around us. You know, I'm not an alarmist. I'm not paranoid. I wouldn't even have considered myself a prepper up until a couple years ago. But look at what's going on. You're seeing fuel prices that are skyrocketing. If you know anything about just our society and the way the world runs on petro fuel, when fuel prices go through the roof, that drives everything else. Obviously, you got to go to the store and pick things up, but stuff has to be delivered to the store, but stuff also has to be delivered to the manufacturer, that then has to be delivered to the middleman, finally to the retail establishment, and then you pick it up. And it takes fuel to do all of that. And we're seeing fuel prices just go through the roof. And that is crushing the U.S. economy at this moment, but it's doing something else behind the scenes. It's going to paralyze us as a society if something doesn't change. And on top of that, we're seeing record inflation that we haven't seen in decades upon decades, which again is going to contribute to paralyzing us as a society. Then to compound problems, you have food shortages that are going on. It doesn't take a rocket scientist just to walk into your local Walmart and see that stuff is not on the shelves the way it used to be. I was in Walmart the other night here in the town that I live in, and I talked to the bread guy. I said, hey man, how is bread stock? Is it in stock or are you seeing shortages? He said, man, there is less stock available than I have ever seen. And so that'll clue you in right there. You can go down the ice cream aisle, ice cream is out. I know in the state of Mississippi, dairy farmers, they can't afford to make the product. And I think something like 30% of dairy farmers in Mississippi have gone out of business in the last year or two. And it's not because nobody wants dairy products, it's because they can't afford the fuel, they can't afford the fertilizer, they can't afford the raw supplies to run the dairy. And so they're being driven out of business. And it's a sad, sad scenario. But all this is mounting up to a Great Depression. And so what does that have to do with guns? Everything it has to do with guns. Because when people don't get their way, or when people are scared, they do terrible things. Let me remind you of 2020 in the summer. Here's a flashback for you. So now that I've reminded you what humanity does when they go out of their minds, let me remind you about something else. In 2020 in the summer, what you just saw on video, that was over social issues. Perceived or real, that was over social issues. When people didn't get their way or the outcomes didn't turn out the way they wanted them to turn out, they started blowing things up and hurting people and trashing things. Now, if everything I told you about a depression coming in fuel prices going through the roof, food shortages, and the makings of a depression. I want you to think for a minute. What's going to happen when people can't get food? What's going to happen when they can't get water? What's going to happen when they can't travel, even to get those necessities because they can't afford the fuel? What's going to happen when the economy shut down because this country is paralyzed because of all those things? And then I want to compound it for you. What's going to happen when people can't get their cigarettes or their beer or their alcohol or their prescription drugs or maybe their illegal drugs? So why do you need guns? You need guns because when humanity goes crazy, you need to be able to defend yourself and provide for yourself and protect what you have. And so we're going to talk about the 3 guns that I believe you need to have right now for what's coming. And look, these 3 guns are not based in any particular order, but they are the 3 guns that I would have. And if I didn't have them, I'd go out and buy them, and I'd go out and buy them for very specific reasons. And those very specific reasons are this. These 3 guns I'm going to show you are all geared towards survival. They have light guns like them out on the market. But I chose these 3 guns specifically because they are proven reliable. And you've got to have that in a survival situation. We're not talking about plinking. We're not talking about going out to the range. We're not talking about competition or target shooting. We're talking about survival. And these 3 guns that I've chosen are all geared towards survival. And that's what we want. We want a proven platform that is geared towards survival. So it goes without saying, I've chosen these because of reliability. They have proven reliability. They have out-of-the-box accuracy. So they have little or no sight-in to get them right on target, because that's what you need in a survival situation. You need a reliable, accurate gun. They're popular, and they're popular because they work, meaning out-of-the-box accuracy and reliability. But I don't just want you to have a popular gun. You need to have a popular gun because if everything shuts down and you need a part for that gun, chances are your neighbor, someone else you know is preparing just like you, may have a part for that gun. And so you may easily come upon it. But also right now, you can stock up on parts for those guns. And if you know that, hey, you're going to need a recoil spring possibly in 2 years because you're familiar with that gun, and you go buy a couple recoil springs and put them away for a rainy day. Magazines and ammo. You want a gun that the ammo is readily available so you can stock up on it. And magazines, so they're readily available as well. And if one breaks, you can have extras, and you can buy extras, and you can stock up on extras. So these guns were chosen for all those reasons. And then lastly, affordable. It's not going to break the bank. And so you can get, on some of these, you're going to see higher end versions and lower end versions, but everybody can step into the basically affordable version for just minimal cost going into it as far as relative to the firearms industry. So let's get into it. What's the very first gun that I think you should have? Again, these are in no specific order because depending on the situation, depending on the threat, depending on the survival situation, it's going to be a go-to gun for one of those situations. So I just put these in the order that I thought that I'd like to go through this video. And the very first one is the AR-15 rifle platform. And so I have my AR set up the way I set it up. And I'm just going to go over that real quick, why I did that. And but the AR-15 platform, it fits the bill for all those things I've talked about. The AR-15 is geared towards survival. It's not only geared towards survival, but it is geared toward military and LEO and civilian defense alike. And it is just about the perfect rifle defense platform because it is a rifle. Remember, you only own a handgun just to get to your rifle. And if you already have your rifle, you don't need your handgun unless your rifle breaks. And so the AR-15 is basically the ultimate platform in a defense rifle. And it is ultimate because of all the reasons that I talked about on that list. So let's run down them real quick. The AR-15 is the perfect fit for survival because it is reliable. The platform goes bang when you want it to go bang. Now, I'm not saying go pick up the cheapest AR-15 out there, but for about $700 to $800, you can pick up a reliable name that will go bang every time you need it to go bang. And with minimal setup, meaning iron sights, a light, and a sling, and you are ready to go. If you want to put optics on it, great. That's up to you. I've got quick release mounts on my optics, so they just come off, and I can go back to backup irons. But minimal setup, I would say get you an AR-15, get a good sling that you can rely on, keeps it nice and tight to your body that's adjustable, and then get you a decent light and some backup iron sights or fixed iron sights, and you're ready to go. If you want to throw a couple optics on it, do that. I use mine for multi-purpose, so I have a couple optics on it. The AR-15 platform, out-of-the-box accuracy. So you're talking about minimal sight-in with the AR-15 that you can set up very, very quickly. Popularity, I don't have to speak to the AR-15 popularity. We've seen that, especially in the summer of 2020 and in recent years, that the AR is a proven platform for self-defense with the proper training. And like I said, minimal setup, you can not only defend yourself, but it makes a great hunting weapon and a great home defense as well as self-defense weapon. And if you're caught on the street in one of the mobs, you need an accurate rifle platform, because shooting in a crowd is nothing you ever want to do. You want to be able to be accurate, because everything after, you can see from the summer of 2020, what Kyle went through, you can see you're going to go through the ringer, and you better be able to come out squeaky clean on the other side, especially with videos that we have now, video capability. People are going to be able to watch your every move, and so you want to be perfectly accurate, and you want to be only acting in self-defense and not hitting innocent bystanders in a crowd. And that's where the AR-15 platform excels. Mine's chambered in 5.56. It'll also shoot .223. So one of the other things I'll say about it, minimal recoil, and so more accurate and faster times to get shots on target. And so when you don't have to manage recoil as much, you can control that rifle and you can get more shots on target. And so that's why the AR-15 excels in a survival situation. And it's rugged, and it's reliable, and it's popular, and it's modular. You can set it up basically any way you want to, and parts are available out there. And chances are, if yours breaks, you should have a second one, but if you don't, you should have parts on hand. And if you don't, chances are somebody you know that runs in the same circles is going to have a part, a lower, an upper, a barrel, whatever, magazines, stock, buffer tube, triggers, whatever you need. Someone's probably going to have it out there, and you can just swap it out into yours, because the M4 platform is versatile like that. All right, so that's the AR-15, and then affordability, you can step into it for $7-ish, $750 right now for a basic AR-15 that's reliable. I wouldn't go sub $700 if I were you. You get down in the 4s and 3s unless you're getting it used from somebody. You're probably not going to get as reliable a rifle as you need to get. And so stay in that $700 range. If you don't already have one, go out and get an AR-15. That's number one. All right, so number two is Glock 19. I carry it every day, and that's the next gun for a survival situation that I recommend because of all the attributes I talked about. And so you need a pistol. And the reason I recommend the Glock 19 is because it is legendary. And it's legendary for a reason, because it goes bang when you need it to go bang, and they have torture tested these things. LEO chooses to carry these. The military chooses to carry these. Civilians alike choose to carry these. And since its inception in 1988, it is unparalleled in the industry because of its size and because of its reliability and because of its ease of use. It just has so many qualities about it that stand up to the name Glock Perfection. And the Glock 19 is the sidearm that you want to have in a survival situation. It is rugged reliability out of the box. This thing, you can freeze it, you can dump it in the ocean, you can throw it in the sand, you can throw it in the mud, you can lose it, run over it with your vehicle, do whatever you want to it, and chances are it's still going to go bang when you need it to go bang. And that's the beauty of the Glock 19. Now, there are other modern polymer striker-fired pistols out on the market that look like the Glock 19, but I promise you, they do not perform like the Glock 19. There are others out there, but there are no substitutes. And so I would tell you, if you're going to go out and get a self-defense pistol for a survival situation that you need to use so that you can get to that rifle, or if that rifle breaks, you can rely on as a combat accurate weapon, this is the one you want to get. So again, this is geared towards survival. Let's talk about reliable. There is no more reliable pistol platform in this compact size that you're going to meet. The Glock 19 is reliable, and it has proven itself again and again and again in millions and millions of gun owners, law enforcement, and military hands. It has proven accurate and reliable time and time again. So that's the next thing. Out of the box accuracy. I have never, and that's just me, I know people have, but by and large, most people, they take the Glock out of the box, and it's accurate out of the box. You may not even like the stock sights, but it's accurate out of the box. And you can shoot it, and definitely shoot it well if you know how to shoot. you can pick it up and do well with it out of the box accurate. And so that's why I'm picking the Glock 19, not only for reliability, but out of the box accuracy. All right, popularity. If you don't know about the Glock 19, which I'm sure you do, just do a YouTube search for Glock 19. Popularity, modularity, availability of parts. You can't beat it. Chances are, again, the circles you run in, if yours breaks down and you need a part, somebody's going to have one somewhere. In fact, they'll probably have 2 or 3. I have 2 Glock 19s, a Gen 4, a Gen 5, and I have a Glock 19X, and all those parts are pretty much interchangeable. And so I'll never go without a Glock 19 by my side, just with the parts I have for it in any one of those guns. So popularity goes without saying. Get it because everybody else has got it, and chances are if you need it, somebody else will have it, or you can stock up on it now. So I would suggest stocking up on parts. If you don't have a Glock 19, buy one and get the parts that you might need. Get you an extra recoil spring, definitely get you extra magazines, maybe a trigger assembly, a barrel, a slide, and some sights, and you'd be ready to go. So then lastly, affordable. For what you get and the reliability of the gun, the accuracy of the gun, and then the modularity of the gun, you can step into a Glock 19 for between $500 and $600 if you're buying it new, and you can sometimes get it less than that if you're buying it used, or you're finding a deal from somebody online on one of the gun sites. You might be able to find a Glock 19 for cheaper than that. And so Glock 19 is my number 2 pick. For survival. And again, you want a sidearm to be able to get to your rifle. If your rifle breaks, you need a good sidearm. And it's also good for concealment. As you can see that, you go out in society, when society goes absolutely nuts, or as I tell my children, when the world blows up, we need to be able to defend ourselves and defend the ones we love. So that's my number 2 pick, the Glock 19. Let's go on to number 3. What is my number 3 choice? And it may surprise you. Some of you may be thinking it's got to be a shotgun. Well, actually it's not. It's another rifle. It's sitting right behind me, and this is a Ruger 1022. And I picked the Ruger 1022 for very particular reasons. They may be more personal reasons to me, but this made the list because I believe it's the ultimate survival rifle that's out there, and for many, many reasons that I'll run through with you. But the same as I talked about with the AR-15 rifle platform, first and foremost, it's a rifle. Ruger has proven in the 1022 reliability. It is the most reliable 22 long rifle on the market. There are other ones like Benjamin out there that are reliable and they're good guns, but as far as an all-around platform goes that meets the survival rifle category, I believe the Ruger 1022 and 22 long rifle category is the most reliable 22 long rifle system out there. I mean, you can send tens of thousands of rounds downrange, and this thing, it will not foul on you. It just eats them and eats them and eats them. Now, if you do have a problem, you clean the gun and you're back in business. And that's the other thing I'll mention about the AR-15 platform and the Glock that I didn't mention. You get those dirty, you get them dirty, they're going to run. We know that 22 long rifle is a dirty round, and so minimal cleaning, though, necessary on this rifle. In fact, I don't think I've cleaned this one since I bought it, and I haven't shot 1,000 rounds through it yet, but I'm close to it. But I've had 2 of these rifles in the past, and I haven't had a single issue out of them whatsoever. So out-of-the-box accuracy, the iron sights are so out-of-the-box accurate. I use this mostly for predator control around the property, so that's why it's set up the way it is right now. I've just got a light on it with a little pressure switch, and then I've got the Butler Creek magazines. They hold 25 rounds. I've got a simple sling to hold it tight to my body if I need to do something else while I'm on the property. And then I swapped out the stock, as you can see, because it makes it easier to throw on the four-wheeler or throw in a backpack if I need to go back in the woods or whatever the case. It just makes it very, very nice and adjustable so that we can all use it. My children can use it. My wife can use it. And that's why I've got it set up the way I got it set up. But that's the other thing I'll go into is not just reliability. This is a super reliable rifle. It's accurate out of the box, but this is one of the most modular systems that you will ever run into. There are tens of thousands of parts and stocks and magazines and trigger assemblies and barrels. anything you want to do to this rifle, you can do. And if you don't know about the Ruger 1022 and you don't own one, go out there and look and see what's available. It is the ultimate little platform as far as 22 long rifle goes. So the popularity and the parts availability on this little platform are second to none. And you can find anything you want to do. The sky's the limit, of course, if you can afford it. And so from a modular standpoint and a parts availability standpoint, you can go buy even a couple extra trigger assemblies, barrels, throw them in the closet, and if this thing breaks, you just swap it out and you're ready to go. You can get pretty much anything you want. And that's what I would suggest you do when you get your Ruger 1022 if you don't already have one. And then affordable. You can step into this thing, depending on the model you get, for in between $200 to $300. And it'll be a basic model down in the $200 range, $250 range. But again, you can upgrade it when you want to. But out of the box, accurate at $250, and it'll go bang every time you need it to go bang, and cycle just as fast as you need it to cycle, and eat pretty much any 22 long rifle ammo. So it's affordable. And as I said in the introduction to this rifle, it's probably the ultimate survival weapon. And that's the other thing I want to say about it. I want you to look at something. You see that? 22 long rifle? I can put 25 of those in there. I can carry 4 or 5 of these mags on my person and not even realize that I'm carrying them because they're so light. That's the other thing about a 22 long rifle weapon system that makes it the ultimate survival rifle, because it's good for hunting big game. If your placement is right, you can hunt big game with this. You can hunt small game, obviously, with this. You can hunt birds with this. You can hunt squirrels, rabbits, ducks, geese. You can kill turkeys with it. You can hunt deer with it if your placement is right. You can hunt hogs with it if your placement is right. Again, you can defend yourself. It wouldn't be my first choice, but if I could only buy one of these 3 guns, I would heavily lean toward the Ruger 1022 rather than the Glock or rather than the AR. But if I can have all 3, I'm definitely going to have all 3, because this serves a better purpose for a self-defense scenario when I need a rifle, and this serves a better purpose because I can't shove this in my waistband. It gets pretty small, but it's not going to fit in the holster in my waistband. But you could use this for self-defense as well, and you could use this in a mob type setting if you needed to defend yourself. You can use it for home defense if you need to defend yourself. As long as you're accurate with it, this round will do the job. So it is, of the 3, I would probably pick this one. So those are the 3 guns that I would choose for a survival situation. We're talking about in the event that society collapses around you and you need to survive, you need to protect your loved ones, you need to be able to provide for your loved ones, and you need to be able to defend yourself, defend your family, and defend your home. Maybe defend yourself out in the streets, as we saw in 2020. Those are my 3 gun choices. If you have different gun choices, please let me know in the comments. If you have comments about how the rifle's set up, if you have improvements, something I missed that you may need as an accessory or something like that for survival, please let me know in the comments again. If you have other gun choices, or if you just pick one of those 3, tell me which one you would pick if you could only buy one. But go out and get yourself some guns, because it's not looking good into the future, and you're going to need to defend yourself. And you know what? You buy a firearm, you're never going to lose money on it, especially if it's an AR, a Glock, or a Ruger 1022. That's the other great thing about them. They hold their value like nothing else. So I want to thank you for making the choice to defend yourself and those you love. And as always, God bless you and yours.